What's up, folks? This is Crypto Made Clear, talking to you today about TA. Now, I'm going to talk specifically about one key factor, which is lines of support and lines of resistance. There are multiple facets of TA, and TA is valuable. TA is valuable in the short term. If you are a trader, TA is outstanding. If you are a long-term investor, it's less relevant, but it still is relevant. So I'm going to talk about this. Before I do, I update the spreadsheet. Now, these are the first 26 coins I spoke about on my other channel, Crypto with James. If you would invest $100 into each of these when I release videos about them, and you're still holding all that crypto, you'd be in profit for over 14 grand. Now, this is at a point where in the last year, at this one point, this spreadsheet was at 100k. This is what happens in bull and bear cycles. We're in a bear cycle. But a bear cycle is where you find coins that, or investments that make you insane returns, just period. I found Phantom in a bear cycle. I did a Udemy course about why I thought it was the best investment in the year when it was at half a cent. Even after all of the crap that's happened, Phantom, if you'd put $100 in, would still be worth nearly $77,700. So it's basically up 77 times. That's what bear cycles can do. And I've talked about this, and I've used other financial markets to show that recessions and bear cycles are where money is made. Now with crypto, that money is magnified, that is multiplied many times over. So I'm sharing on Copy My Crypto the coins that I'm excited about, that I'm going to start investing in during the bear cycle. So if you want to get ahead of the curve, if you want to know what I'm going to be getting in during the bear cycle, then you want to click the link in the description and check it out. Right. We're going to talk about TA. We're going to talk about, but specifically, I literally just want to focus on lines of support, lines of resistance. So with all markets, and it doesn't matter whether it's the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, Bitcoin, a different crypto. Everything has a line of support, a line of resistance. And that is true of larger timeframes and shorter timeframes. So I've literally got the daily chart up on TradingView right now. And I find this immensely useful because what I can see is what's happening in the markets at any given time. So let me just enlarge the screen. So for Bitcoin, since January, we've been in a pattern of an upward trend. Now, this particular line isn't drawn perfectly, but it's drawn well enough, right? Where we can see that we were in a parallel channel, and an upward trajectory parallel channel, right? And Bitcoin was bouncing between these lines. Now, at many points throughout the sort of 5 months or so, Bitcoin hit those lines. Now, lines of support are lines like this, right? Where Bitcoin hit the line, but the line of support held. And what the line of support is that it means that people are buying at that point. Lines of resistance are where the crypto itself, or where the price action can't break through. So this is a line of resistance where every time we saw it hit the line of resistance, it bounced back down. It retested it, bounced back down. So in terms of why we use TA, we use TA for short-term trades. And I used to do this 5-6 years ago consistently. It's how I built my revenue to do long-term investments. And all I did off that, well, one of the main things I did was lines of support, lines of resistance. So when something hit a line of support and the line of support appeared to hold, I would put in a long investment. What is a call, right? Whether it's futures or whatever. And then I might use some leverage. I only ever really used 2x or 4x. I didn't play around too much in terms of leverage because liquidation is such a massive thing. And if a line of support is broken, it tends to break dramatically on the downside. as you can see from the wicks on the candle here and here. And so as an example, if you'd have traded a long here, Bitcoin was at 35k. But if you'd done 2x leverage and you traded a long, done a call at 35k basically, and held that to basically 44.5k or thereabouts, you've made 30% gain thereabouts. And if you got 2x leverage, you've made 60% gain. If you then shorted at this point and it bounced back down to these points that it did, again, you made less money, because if it's dropped from 45 to 36, you've actually only made about 20% comparatively, right? So you actually make better money when you long, but you have to do it off of the basis of TA. Now, these lines of support and these lines of resistance give you clear indications of where markets are going. And lines of support and lines of resistance do get broken consistently, and we've seen it very recently with Bitcoin. But the more a line is tested in a short period of time, the more likely it is to break down. This is something I spoke about on my site. I actually said several weeks ago that we're going to break down in the near future, because we were teetering towards that level, and it broke down. But when we see that line of support, and when it's a close in the time frame, that's the key thing. So the moment that it's confirmation this support line is broken is when the daily candle closes, because it's a daily chart. If it was an hourly chart, then it would be when the hourly candle closes. So the daily chart closed, and then we had a spiral down from 37k down to 30k, but that's still around 20% down. But again, if you'd have put 2x leverage on it, you got 40% gain. If you'd have actually held it and got out at the 27k, you'd probably made 30%. So you'd have made 60% if you'd have done 2x leverage. I don't recommend leverage if you're new to trading, because the worst thing that can happen to a new trader is they're successful with a leverage trade because they think they've mastered it. And you get found out very, very quickly. And liquidations are very easy to happen. And if you don't have an understanding of how liquidations work, it's problematic. So right now, today, as an example, Bitcoin is hovering around the line of support. The line of support itself, now I've picked it out at effectively $30,069 based on previous previous charts or previous key lines. Now, the 30k level fundamentally is a psychological level. If today, and there's like 6 hours or so before this closes, but if that line is broken, because now 30k is a line of resistance, that's something that's important. So 30k was always a line of support. We can see it back over history where it was tested but never really broken. It got slightly broken here and then rebounded immediately. But 30k has been a line of support for multiple occasions throughout the past sort of 18 months or thereabouts. And we're at that line right now. I see a ton of YouTube videos out there talking about the bottom of the bear cycle's in. No, there's no evidence for that whatsoever. We've not even had a daily candle close, and right now, Bitcoin is hovering below 30k. Bitcoin has to close above 30k. And then it has to continue those closes above 30k. And tomorrow is a Saturday, the day after that is a Sunday. Saturdays and Sundays are anomalies because it's retail investors, not the general market. So tomorrow and Sunday could very well be continuations of what happens today. But lines of support, the line of resistance, which is 30k right now, is there. If it doesn't break through, it might break through across the next 2 days, but Monday could very well just see an immediate downturn. Like I said, 30k was a line of support for ages, but it dropped below it. It dropped below it on the 11th. It stayed below it on the 12th. So 30k now acts as a line of resistance. So now today it has to break through it. It's got 6 hours left. It may very well do so. But that's a significant line of resistance. That's not something to ignore. And that's not something where anyone should be looking at it going, the bear cycle's over. The world's brilliant again. There's more downturn in this market to come. You also have to understand macroeconomic factors around trading. But particularly today, you've got a number of, it's the end of a week, we've got a number of people that have done week-long leverage trading, whether that's or futures trading. And at 30k, many traders will have gone, Bitcoin's going to close below 30k. So as a result, there's a lot of downward pressure on 30k, around 30k. So closing above 30k is a big ask today. And TA I'm omitting a hell of a lot. I want to be crystal clear. TA is not just about lines of support and lines of resistance, but they are massive factors. And I used to do this for years, and then I became a long-term investor because I didn't want to look at charts on a daily basis. I still do, so it's not actually changed dramatically, but long-term investing is more relaxed. Day-to-day means you've got to look at a chart, day in, day out, hour, minute in, minute out, pretty much. Right? You've got stop losses and all these other factors, but you are looking at. But when you're a long-term investor, you're not looking at charts other than entry points. I look at charts now to identify potentially good entry points for investments in terms of TA. But I don't do it so for trading. And there are many different indicators that people can use. RSI is a very good one. That's called the Relative Strength Index as an example. That just indicates oversold and overbought territory. Right now we are in oversold territory. Anything under 30 for the RSI indicates oversold. Anything above 70 indicates overbought. So we are actually in oversold territory right now, which should indicate an upward trajectory in the market because it's oversold. But it's at key levels of resistance, not something to ignore, ever. And that's it. You know what? That's it, guys. Like, I'm not going to go into this huge guide. I might build one at some point, but one of the biggest things for TA, and it's something people need to bear in mind, when you're looking at investment and going, because I saw a lot of YouTube videos out today going, the bear cycle's over. And it annoyed me because it was short-sighted. And it wasn't looking at facts. So TA is valuable. It depends on the person you are. It depends on the investor you are or the trader you are. If you're looking at investing, TA is very valuable for identifying good entry points. But if you're an investor, you're looking at fundamentals. You're looking at the underlying benefits of something, not the TA. TA is short term. If you're a trader and you're looking, or if you want to be a trader, then you're looking at the short-term factors. Short-term factors, two of the biggest, without a shadow of a doubt, lines of support and lines of resistance. Like I said, I'm omitting a lot. RSI is massive. Bollinger Bands are very good. Fibonacci retracements are very good. There's so many different variables. Stochastic. All of these things are phenomenal factors in terms of identifying market momentum combined with the other variables. Because when you're doing TA and you're doing short-term trading, you're not looking at one thing. You're looking at 3, 4, 5 different variables. And if they all coincide in the correct way, you've probably got a phenomenal trade on the horizon. But if you're an investor and you're looking for long-term investments, TA is awesome for identifying entry points. And yeah, that's it. You know what? Because fundamentally, we're not out of this bear cycle. You know, we'll see what happens today. But fundamentally, even if Bitcoin closes slightly above 30K today, or even at 31, Saturday and Sunday are irrelevant. Monday is interesting. And that's it. And yeah, that's all I've got to say. Anyway, if you're investing, make sure you're building up your list of cryptos that you're excited about, because we're in a bear cycle. Bear cycle is the best time to invest. The psychological impact of investing when everything is down is shit scary for new people, but it isn't a. But it's something that the more you do it, the easier it gets. But you have to build a list of things you're excited about. If you can't find things you're excited about, research harder. If you don't have the time, come to Copy My Crypto. You can see the coins that I've been speaking about, the coins that I'm going to be getting in. The moment I get in them, I'll talk about them. I'll talk about why I'm getting in them and be letting everyone know. So if you want to be a part of it, you can click the link in the description and check it out. That's it for me. Take it easy. Bye bye.